Okay, so I'm here in the student view. Again, here's your draft. You can see it's not marked up. You get the original, and some of these details, you're not able to edit it because I have graded it. So up until, even if you turn it in early, as long as the due date hasn't passed, you can make edits. I will start grading, so you can make edits after that, on the Monday after it's due. So if you turn it in on Friday and you realize over the weekend, I want to make some changes, you can all the way through Sunday at midnight. So then you'll have your evaluation, your points. In this case, 100 Packback points is 1% for our class. So on this assignment, then that student, me, will have earned 2.2 out of 3. So you click view and what you see, all these details, your points, my overall comment, so it'll be kind of big picture. Hey, here's something for the next time you do this, We have 3 project plan emails to write this semester. So on future ones, you should think about, these comments, these feedback, try to integrate it to, score higher, do better on the next one. Your writing assistant requirements, again, notice, now you see the updated score. Originally, Packback's AI thought you only were going to get 23 points on flow and structure. After I read through the document, I increased it to 30 points. Again, I would leave you these highlights to help give you a sense of why you lost points there. And then the additional requirements. You see the points, you got half credit on understanding the project, and here's my comment. In this case, because you really didn't actually explain what the project is or how the thing you're writing about fits into it, the point is to show yourself and show me, your project manager, what is this new client work you're doing, and how are you gonna, make sure the client is happy and you're doing the right thing. And then, writing plan. So you can, okay, last thing is these instructor comments. So if you go to the instructor comment tab, this is where all these little highlighted stuff pops up. So you can either scroll through this way and it will highlight the sections for you, or you can click on the document and read it right there, whichever works best for you. So write some of these comments, okay, nice subject line, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so some of the stuff in red is the AI things I want to talk to you about. So first, Bard, again, most of this was written by Bard, and some things that I would mark, where I'm like, So Bard, GPT, all the AI tends to be very over enthusiastic in the prose, in the words. So for example, this is like an email proposal to your boss. Maybe you want to convey that you're happy to work on it, but I don't know, are you really excited to present this proposal? It's just not how people at work tend to talk, let's be honest, but it's very much something that GPT likes to write. And so be on the lookout for that. A few other times, and language-wise, that I would highlight, I might not fully take points out for, but I would definitely be like, you need to edit this more carefully. Things like at the end here, my passion for audio-based learning makes me uniquely qualified to craft this compelling, especially Bard, watch out for this, since the latest update has been on a very kind of poetic, overly descriptive, kind of fluffy vibe, no matter how many times I tell it to, stop. So these are things you need to edit for. Again, this is your proposal. Come on, are you really crafting? What does crafting even mean? It's just not a very technical verb. And again, you're at work. Do you really have that much passion for this? You were assigned it by your client. Hopefully you like it. Hopefully you are interested in writing about it, but I highly doubt you have a ton of passion. Same with this, eagerly await. Come on, let's be honest. You're not really eagerly awaiting the opportunity for feedback. Stop. That's just such an AI thing to write. So those are some key things there. Areas that I would actually mark you down for because you failed to validate and verify what the AI gave you. Here's a great example. All of these bullet points, Bard made for me. I didn't go through and check them right until I submitted it in grading. And this is something that doesn't make sense. And this is where your use of AI becomes a problem. It doesn't make sense anymore. You clearly did not edit it and take ownership of the content. So this last bullet point about distribution and promotion, and right, my topic, this thing I'm pitching, this project is, about faculty making lecture content. They don't need to worry about distribution and promotion because everything's already set, right? They don't need to find an audience. Their audience is their classes, right? So that'd be something I'd flag and be like, why are you going to talk about this? That doesn't make sense. So that would be an issue. Or here, another area, clear sign that AI was used and you didn't bother to fix it. That's the problem I have. When you don't bother to fix what the AI gives you to match your actual purpose and audience. So it made a schedule. It is good at making schedules, but 10 weeks, we have 3 weeks for this assignment. So obviously your writing plan isn't going to work. And where these points then would come off is, right, in things like do you have, a better writing plan here, right? That doesn't make sense. And so that's where kind of your points would go. Now you can, reprompt it. You could give it all the deadlines, from class and be like, the writing schedule has to be done between this date and this date. But honestly, at that point, you're probably going to spend just as much, if not more time prompting and fiddling with your AI prompts than if you just wrote the schedule yourself. Those are decisions you got to make. But those are examples that I will be looking for because it hurts your credibility as a technical writer. It hurts the comprehension and usability of the document when you leave things from the AI in that just don't make sense and don't fit anymore. And that goes to you not using the tool correctly. All right. So those are those really kind of key comments there. And just, some other comments. These are things that, I wrote myself. This is a great example of a tiny paragraph, right? And that structure and flow. We can have small paragraphs like this as long as there's a purpose, right? A point to it. So if I read it and I'm like, this paragraph is hanging out by itself because it's missing details or because it actually belongs with this other topic sentence and you just kind of mess that up, that's a problem. But if I'm like, hey, this paragraph is one sentence hanging out by itself because it's the purpose statement and it's super important and you want to make sure I don't miss it, then that's good. Some of that structure really does come down to the point of what your choices are with technical writing. Here's a comment, lacks detail, right? So to maximize your points here, make sure that you are fully and clearly explaining to me / again, your project manager, here's this request I just got from the client, what I'm working on, here's how my topic and my plan is going to fill all of the requirements and objectives of that project. So you need to show me that you understand the assignment. Otherwise, use headings, love that, use these bullet points. And when the AI grader might say, hey, too many bullet points, there is, again, when your intern brings something to your attention, give it some thought. It's very true that you might have too many bullet points. That is something that absolutely happens. The more bullet points you have, the more, kind of meaning they lose. And I would say in this case, a lot of these things, there's a ton of bullet points happening. So maybe I rewrite this section to be, less bulleted and more just talk about it in paragraphs. So that way, the writing schedule stands out more. That kind of stuff. So pay attention to what the AI is telling you. Use bullet points, right? Use lists, use headings, use design, all of those kind of key opening qualities that you read about in your week 1 required materials, and make sure that this is very usable, useful, and enjoyable enough for me to read.